As the evening light softened the landscape, casting a golden hue over the camp, the monk sat quietly by the fire. Her weathered hands moved with a grace that seemed to belong to the very earth itself. Around her, a small group of seekers gathered, their faces illuminated by the crackling flames. They came from all walks of life, drawn to her wisdom, an Indigenous woman who, through countless years of living in harmony with the land, had come to understand the deep, cyclical nature of existence. She spoke slowly, as if each word was weighed with the care and precision of the wind that rustled the trees above them. Life, she began, her voice soft but firm, is like a circle. The group listened intently, sensing that this teaching, like so many others from this wise woman, would not be an ordinary lesson. She continued, her eyes drifting towards the horizon, where the setting sun was melting into the earth. We often think of life as a straight line, a path that moves us from one point to the next. But in truth, it is not like that. Life is cyclical, like the great wheel of the seasons. Her voice deepened with this next thought, and there was a stillness in the air that seemed to absorb her words. The seasons are forever turning. Spring gives way to summer, summer fades into autumn, and autumn yields to winter. And then the cycle begins again. The seekers leaned forward, hanging on to her every word. She paused for a moment before continuing, her gaze lifting to the sky as if drawing her thoughts from the heavens themselves. Just as the earth changes, so too does your life. There will be times when you feel as though you are on top of the world, full of energy, success, and abundance. You will feel the warmth of the sun on your face, the wind at your back. These moments are gifts, but do not be fooled into thinking that they are the only truth of life. She let her words settle, allowing the weight of them to sink in. The fire crackled as if punctuating her thoughts. There will also come times when you fall, when the winds turn cold and the sun seems far away. You may feel as though you're at the bottom of the circle, struggling in darkness, wondering if you will ever rise again. She looked around the group, her eyes locking with each person in turn, her gaze deep with understanding. These times are not to be feared. They are part of the circle. Just as winter must give way to spring, so too will your hardships pass. The monk's voice softened, but her words held a deep resonance, like the soft hum of the earth itself. What is most important, my friends, is to keep moving. A circle does not remain in one place. It is always turning, always shifting. Even when you are at the bottom, know that the circle will rise again, and so will you. She paused, her hands resting on her lap, the firelight flickering in her eyes. Success, she said gently, is not about avoiding the downward cycles. It is about staying true to your journey. It is about knowing that no matter how deep the valley, there is always the promise of the next rise. There is always the return of the sun. The flames crackled, and the sounds of the night began to fill the air. The wind whispered through the trees, as if echoing her words. Life is not about clinging to the highs or fleeing from the lows. It is about moving with the rhythm of the circle, understanding that each moment, whether high or low, is part of a larger, sacred dance. Embrace both the joys and the sorrows, for they are woven together into the fabric of your existence. The monk's voice grew quieter, almost a whisper now, but one that seemed to resonate deep within the hearts of all who listened. When you understand the circle, you begin to see that nothing is wasted. Every experience, every triumph, every hardship is a step on your path. The key is not to resist the fall, but to trust that it will lift you up once more. As the fire burned low and the stars began to fill the sky, the seekers sat in silence, each reflecting on the profound wisdom they had just received. The monk stood, her figure silhouetted against the vastness of the night sky. Remember, she said softly, life is a circle. It turns, it flows, and it always moves forward. Stay true to the journey. The circle will carry you." And with that, she disappeared into the shadows as the winds whispered, carrying her teachings with them into the hearts of those who would carry them forward into their own lives. The seekers, now deeply moved, could not help but feel the truth of her words echoing in their spirit.